Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
Business Correspondence, Interpersonal Skills 2. Hello students, I am Dr. Rinki Menon, Assistant Professor, presently working at Sri Narayana College of Commerce, Gujarat University. Today, I would be delivering a lecture in the subject of business communication. The course objective. The course aims to make students understand the basic concepts of business communication and develop conceptual clarity and logical skills so that they can use them. The course content. The course comprises of various concepts of communication. I would start with the third unit that deals with the interpersonal skills. So, now let's begin with today's module that we shall cover. After today's lecture, you shall be able to take an insight into what are leadership qualities. Next, we shall discuss about time management. And last, we shall take a learn about negotiation skills. So, let's get started. So, moving ahead in the understanding the interpersonal skills, today we shall first take an insight into what is leadership and what are the required leadership qualities. Leadership qualities. You may have multiple degrees and years of experience, but this is not what will matter most to your employees. A study conducted by the Australian Institute of Management, Education and Training found that interpersonal skills to be the most important traits or requirements for effective leadership. Survey participants in the study ranked communication, emotional intelligence and people management as the top 3 traits that leaders should have. All 3 traits were ranked higher than soft skills such as decision making and strategic thinking, as well as concrete skills like financial management and data analysis. Which interpersonal leadership skills you should have or hone? Interpersonal skills affect almost every area of business. Your people skills come into play when you enter into a negotiation, close a business deal or woo a client. They can help you build partnerships as well as collaborative team environment. If you intend to be a good leader and not just a manager, these are the interpersonal skills that you should have. Effective leaders have the ability to communicate well, motivate their team, handle and delegate responsibility, listen to the feedback and have the flexibility to solve problems in an ever-changing workplace. Employers seek these skills in the candidates they hire for leadership roles. Strong leadership skills are also valuable for all job applicants and employees. Whether you are starting out in an entry-level position as a fresher and looking to move up the career ladder or seeking promotion, your leadership skills will be among your most valued assets. The top 10 leadership skills. So, here we discuss the top 10 leadership skills that make a strong leader in the workplace. First, communication. As a leader, you need to be able to clearly and sufficiently explain to your employees everything from the organizational goals to the specific task. Leaders must master all forms of communication including one-on-one, departmental and full staff conversations as well as communication via the phone, email, videos, chat and social media platforms. Leaders should establish a steady flow of communication between themselves and their staff or the team members, either through an open door policy or through regular conversations with the workers. A large part of communication involves listening. Leaders should make themselves regularly available to discuss issues and concerns with the employees. The second skill, motivation. Leaders need to inspire their workers to go the extra mile for organizations. Just paying a fair salary to the employees is typically not enough inspiration, though it is important. There are a number of ways to motivate your workers. You may build employee self-esteem through recognition and rewards, or by giving employees new responsibilities to increase their investments in the company. Leaders must learn motivators work best for their employees or team members to encourage productivity and passion. With leadership comes the third skill, that is delegating. Leaders who try to take on too many tasks by themselves will struggle to get anything done at time. These leaders often fear the delegating task is a sign of weakness, when it is actually can be a sign of strong leader. Therefore, you need to identify the skills of each of your employees and assign duties to each employee based on his or her skill set. By delegating or imparting the task to the staff members, you can focus on other important tasks. The fourth quality is positivity. A positive attitude can go a long way in an office. You should be able to laugh at your own self when something does not quite go as planned. This helps to create a happy and healthy work environment, even during the busy and stressful periods. Simple acts like asking employees about their weekend, vacation plans will help to develop a positive atmosphere in the office and raise morale among the staff members. If employees feel that they work in a positive environment, they will be more likely to want to be at the workplace and will therefore be willing to put in long hours whenever needed. The fifth skill is trustworthiness. Employees need to be able to feel comfortable coming to their manager or leader with questions and concerns or issues. It is important for you to demonstrate your integrity or employees with only trust leaders they respect. By being open-minded and honest, you will encourage the same sort of honesty in your employees too. Next is creativity. As a leader, you have to make a number of decisions that do not have a clear answer. So, you need to be able to think outside of the box. Learning to try non-traditional solutions or approaching to the problems in a non-traditional ways will help you to solve an otherwise unsolvable problem more easily. Many employees will also be impressed and inspired by a leader who doesn't always choose the safer or conventional paths. Next, seventh is the feedback. Leaders should constantly look for opportunities to deliver useful information to team members about their performance. However, there is a fine line between offering employees advice and assistance and micromanaging. By teaching employees how to improve their work and make their own decision, you will feel more confident delegating tasks to your staff. Employees will also respect a leader who provides a feedback in a clear but empathetic way. The eighth skill is responsibility. A leader is responsible for both the success and failure of his or her own team. Therefore, you need to be willing to accept blame when something does not go correctly. If your employees see their leader pointing fingers and blaming others, they will lose respect for the leader or you. Accept mistakes and failures and then devise clear solutions for their improvement. Ninth is commitment. It is important for leaders to follow through what they agree to do. You should be willing to put in the extra hours to complete an assignment. Employees will see this commitment and follow your example. Similarly, when you promise your staff a reward such as an office party, you should always follow through. A leader cannot expect employees to commit to their jobs and their tasks if he or she cannot do the same. The last is flexibility. Mishaps and last-minute changes always occur at work. Leaders need to be flexible. accepting whatever changes come their way. Employees will appreciate your ability to accept changes in stride and creatively problem solving techniques. Similarly, leaders must be open to suggestions and feedback. If your staff is dissatisfied with an aspect of the office environment, listen to their concern and be open to making changes necessary as and when required. Employees will appreciate a leader's ability to accept appropriate feedback. So, after learning the skills, how can build leadership skills? You do not need to supervise or be a manager to cultivate leadership skills. You can develop these skills on the job in the following ways. Take an initiative. Look beyond the task in your job description. Think about long terms, what would be beneficial for your department and the company. Try to brainstorm ideas and commit to doing work that goes beyond the daily routine. Next, request for more responsibility. While you wouldn't want to ask for additional responsibility in your second week on the job, once you have been in a position long enough to become an expert, you can share with your manager that you are eager to grow your leadership abilities. Ask how you can help out. Are there upcoming projects that require a point person? Is there any work that you can take off of your manager's to-do list? Next, target specific skills. If you have a specific skill that you want to develop, whether it's creative, thinking or communication, create a plan to improve your abilities in that area. This could mean taking a class, finding a mentor to help, reading books, using the net or setting a small goal that forces you to develop this skill. Talk to managers and co-workers as well as friends outside of the office to develop you to plan or improve that skill. Next, after cultivating the skills, the next is how will you showcase your skills. You can use the skill word listed here as your search for jobs. For example, apply the term in your resume, especially in the description of your work history. You can also incorporate them in your cover letter. Mention one or two of the skills mentioned here and give specific examples of instances when you demonstrated this trait at work. So, now that you have learned about leadership skill, there is one more skill you need to master for a betterment, not just for the job or business, but in general to make the most of your time management. So, coming to the next skill is time management. Have you ever wondered how it is that some people seem to have enough time to do everything that they want to, whereas others are always rushing from task to task and never seem to finish anything? It cannot just be that some people have less to do. It's much more likely that they are using their time more effectively. In other words, they are showing good time management skills. Time management is the ability to use your time productively and efficiently. You could also think of it as the art of having time to do everything that you need without feeling stressed about it. It sounds simple, but it is much harder in practice. This session explains some of the principles behind good time management. What is the importance of time management? Time management skills are essential because few, if any, of us ever have enough time to do everything that is asked for or that we want to do. Time management is defined as using your time productively and efficiently. But what about when you are working as productively as possible and you still can't get everything done on time? It may be better to think about time management as a combination of working productively and prioritizing your time. In other words, people who are good at time management are good at getting on things or doing things efficiently. They are also, however, better at prioritizing and working out what really needs to be done and then disregarding the other things. They can do this because they understand the difference between urgent and important. Urgent. Urgent tasks demand your immediate attention, but whether you actually give them the attention may or may not matter. Urgent tasks demand your immediate attention, but whether you actually give them that attention may or may not matter. Important tasks matter, and not doing them may have serious consequences for you and for others. This distinction between urgent and important is the key to prioritizing your time and your workload, whether at work, at home, or when studying. It enables you to work out what to do first and what can be left either or until later, or not done at all. For example, if you leave an urgent but unimportant task, you may find that it is unnecessary to do later on. Now, moving ahead with this entire thing, let us now understand the time management skills. Organization. Staying organized help you to keep a track of your responsibilities and prioritize, like what you need to do first and what you need to do the rest of it. An organized list of tasks act as a map to guide you from morning to evening and helps increase your productivity. A well-organized plan helps you to break down goals or larger goals into smaller, easily achievable tasks and enables you to complete those tasks on time. Second time management skill is prioritization. Prioritization is the key to successful time management. When you learn to prioritize your daily task, you ensure that you will complete the important task first. Write down every single task starting with the top priority. For instance, you can break down your task as the following. A-level task, things which will lead to major consequences if not done. The B-level task, activities that may have a negative effect if not completed today itself. And the C-level task, activities that have no consequences if not completed in the present day. The quality or skill required for time management is goal setting. Goal setting is a process of defining your aims and objectives with a certain plan to help you achieve the set up goals. Setting goals is a key step in excelling as a professional. Without goals, you may find it challenging to complete your task in a well-organized manner. Setting both short and long-term goals can lead to success in your career. An example of short-term goal may be to increase your sales in your department by 40%. A long-term goal could be something like completing law school or starting your own business. The next skill is communication. Communication skills are major component of success in life. Effective communication promotes trust and makes your plans and goals clear to other people you work with. It plays a crucial role in resolving conflicts and preventing potential conflict situations which may arise in the future. Strong communication helps you delegate more work, which lets you focus on the important tasks that support your goals. The next skill required is planning. Planning is the core of time management. With a proper plan, you can prioritize your tasks accordingly, which can help avoid confusion and unnecessary stress. A planned work schedule helps you to complete the task in the given time frame. For example, a plan for a project manager might include ordering supplies, scheduling labor, acquiring the proper permits and so on. Next, stress management. Positively handling stress keeps you motivated and helps you to complete the task at the scheduled time against all adversities. Exercise, yoga or having snacks during the breaks can help you to reduce stress. In fact, including stress relieving activities or self-care rituals into your daily schedule can positively impact your productivity on work-related tasks throughout the day. So, I hope you are now through with how to tackle your 24 hours to the maximum of your benefit and make the most of what life has to offer. So, moving to the last skill required for interpersonal skill is negotiation skill. What is a negotiation? Negotiation is a type of discussion used to settle disputes and reach agreements between two or more sides. Negotiation is a process of give and take, resulting in a compromise, whether each side makes a concession for the benefit of everyone involved. There are many situations where you may need to negotiate at work, no matter what your role is. You may be part of negotiation between co-workers, departments or clients. You may negotiate your salary, your position, contract terms, project timelines or even more. To be a successful negotiator, you need a variety of skills. Negotiation is a dialogue between two parties to resolve conflicts or issues so that both the parties find a solution acceptable by the two. Usually, it is a compromise involving the give and take. Negotiation results when each party compromises to resolve a conflict for everyone's benefit. In the workplace, negotiations may take place between managers, departments, colleagues or between a team member and manager. Even before you join the workplace, you may negotiate the job offer with the interviewer or the HR manager. So, what are the negotiation skills required? Negotiation skills are qualities that allow two or more sides to reach a compromise. These are often soft skills such as communication, persuasion, planning, strategizing and cooperating. Understanding these skills is the first step to becoming a strong negotiator. What are negotiation skills? Negotiation skills are inherent qualities that help two or more parties agree to a common logical solution. In the workplace, you may have to display your negotiation skills in various situations, such as negotiating a salary hike with the HR manager after promotion, negotiating a project deadline with your team leaders or managers, negotiating few days off for a family holiday with your manager, negotiating contract terms with a potential customer. So, lack of negotiation skills affect the business bottom line and could ruin customer relationship. Negotiation skills are soft skills and essential to become a negotiator and resolve workplace conflicts. However, the skills set depend on the work environment, the parties involved and the outcome desired. Often, when one party is ready for reaching a compromise, the other party may be resistant towards it. This makes negotiation difficult and you are likely to encounter such situations in the workplace. That is why you need to master your negotiation skills. Benefits of negotiation skills. Negotiation is a coveted leadership skill which helps businesses reach their business objectives. Few reasons why negotiation skills are essential in the workplace. It helps to build a relationship. Despite the differences in opinion, negotiation skills help strike a solution and focus more on creating goodwill and value. This builds a long-term relationship. It helps to deliver excellent solutions. Good negotiation skills ensure that solutions to the conflicts are not short-term. It focuses on creating long-lasting solutions because both parties make a concession only when the solution is satisfactory. It helps to avoid future conflicts. As both the parties agree to a common solution, the chances of future conflicts reduce to a greater extent. It helps to create an environment of business success. Good negotiation skills ensure the accomplishment of business goals, which creates an environment of business success. This also increases the chances of future business transactions. So, let us take a look at the required negotiation skills. Here are a few examples of negotiation skills that can make you an excellent negotiator at the workplace. Communication. Communication is the backbone of negotiation. The way you communicate decides the fate of the negotiation. It involves identifying the non-verbal cues, using the right words and expressing your thoughts in a compelling and engaging way. Without being verbose, you need to communicate the right message to the party. Often, negotiators are active listeners that help them understand the other party's message. A healthy conversation ensures a mutual beneficial deal and avoids misunderstanding that could prevent the parties from reaching a compromise. Strategizing. There may be instances where the other party disagrees with the solution you provide. Good negotiators often come up with one or more backup plans. Consider all solutions to the problem before entering a negotiation. For example, when negotiating your salary, the HR manager may refuse to increase your dearness allowance. Instead of focusing on the DA, you could ask for better retirement or gratuity benefits. The next skill is planning. Proper planning before the negotiation ensures you know the long-term consequences of the negotiation terms. Planning comes in handy during the negotiation process and ensures the successful execution of the decision. Persuasion. Successful negotiator can influence other parties. Unless you possess the persuasion skills, it becomes difficult to justify how your solution will benefit both the parties. Your persuasion skills decide whether the other party agrees to your solution or not. The next skill is listening. Active listening is the key to a successful negotiation, as it ensures that you listen to the other party and understand what they are trying to say. Also, with active listening, you do not miss out on the crucial information which builds trust and helps reach a consensus faster. Problem solving. Most negotiations occur to find a solution to an issue. With excellent problem solving skills, you propose a viable, flexible and intelligent solution that are beneficial for both the parties. Emotional intelligence. The ability to control and manage your emotions and deal with the other party's emotion differentiates a successful negotiator from an unsuccessful one. People high on emotional intelligence can accurately perceive and express their emotion, recognize others' emotions and use these emotions to facilitate solutions. So, what are the types of negotiation strategies? The negotiation strategies or approaches to negotiation you use depends on the situation. Most workplace negotiations are win-lose or win-win. Here are 4 types of negotiation strategies. Distributive negotiation. It is also sometimes called hard bargaining because both the parties argue over a single conflict. Distributive negotiation is a win-lose strategy because each party considers that their loss would benefit the counterparty. For example, when purchasing a SAP tool, you may not want to lower the prices as it would cause financial loss to the company, whereas your customer feels you are overcharging them for your product by not giving them discounts. Integrative negotiation. It is also sometimes called the interest-based bargaining because it asserts that both the parties can gain something and create value by offering trade-offs. This is a win-win strategy because the negotiation creates mutual gain for both the parties. For example, when purchasing the same SAP tool, you quote the price as 2000 rupees per month, but the customer is adamant about paying only 1600 per month. Both you may negotiate at 1800 rupees per month price. This is a win-win situation. Why? Because both the parties win 200 rupees per month. Negotiation with co-workers. Your job may require working closely with different departments, and without strong negotiation skills, it might be difficult for you to reach your goals. For example, when working as a software developer, a test automation engineer may flag a part of your code as a critical error. When you negotiate with the automation engineer, you both agree that the error is no longer valid because the products change functionality. As a result, you develop a plan to ensure such instances do not happen again in future. Next, negotiation with the management. One of the most challenging types of negotiation is with your manager or senior management. Often, you negotiate with such senior level people for your job duties and salary benefits. This is a crucial workplace negotiation because your job satisfaction depends on it. Therefore, when negotiating about your salary and other perks, be clear and polite of what you are expecting. Next, tips to improve your negotiation skills. As negotiation skills are paramount in every business, you need to have or hone these skills continuously. Here are a few important tips to improve your negotiation skills. Prepare for the negotiation. Enter a negotiation only after you know what you want and how willing you are to compromise to resolve the conflict. Be ready to compromise. Without compromise, it is impossible to reach a common consensus that is beneficial for both the parties. Leave your ego behind when negotiating at the workplace and be ready to compromise on benefit or best fit terms. Set a timeline. Without setting a timeline, a negotiation may go on for months or years. Setting a deadline or timeline motivates the parties to reach a compromise before the deadline. Offer multiple solutions. If a conflict is solvable in more than one way, it makes sense to present all the possible solutions at the beginning of a negotiation. This saves time and increases the probability of both the parties choosing one solution of their preferred outcome. Speak with confidence. Negotiation is not about what you say, it is more about how you say. Therefore, it is imperative to speak confidently to make the other party believe that your solution is beneficial. Lack of confidence and self-assurance could result in negotiation terms that are more beneficial for the other party. Learn to accept failures. Often, when both parties' requirements are a world apart or extreme, reaching a compromise becomes difficult. You may fail at negotiation, but never take this failure personally. Instead, accept it and revisit the entire negotiation to understand ways to improve your efforts. Work on your weaknesses. Your planning, communication, persuasion, problem solving and listening skills are always complement your negotiation skills. So, it becomes essential to sharpen these skills. If you lack the power of persuasion or find it difficult to listen to others, you should work on these weaknesses to improve your negotiation skills. Ninth, practice negotiation. One of the best ways to improve your negotiation skills is by practicing. Create a mock negotiation scenario and practice it with your family or friends. The more you practice, the better negotiator you will become. So, coming to the end of the discussion, today we studied about interpersonal skills that are needed for business communication. We started with leadership skills. Then we moved towards time management. And lastly, we discussed about negotiation skills. Thank you.